Medicine is very, very expensive and it's not very accessible when you come from a widening participation background. So let's talk about that. I saw that the rage just started building because exactly, only we would know about it, they would tell us, right? Wrong, very wrong. And I'll say it now, the reason for that is because circuit laundry, bring them. Because the thing is, I thought I escaped the clutches of circuit laundry. See, this is the problem, cost of living. You'll go and do that and now your parents are suffering because they're like, whether you have a car, you don't have a car, you're finished. Do you see how this is a hidden cost? A very big hidden cost. The cost of having ADHD. So for example, I'll give you a good example. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm basically going to talk about how medicine, uni, but medicine specifically, is very, very expensive and it's not very accessible when you come from a widening participation background. So let's talk about that. Get yourself a hot drink, or if a cold drink, if that takes your fancy, or some water. Personally, I should be eating food instead of this because I actually feel weak. But if I don't film this video now, you're never going to get it. So just be happy that I'm doing it. Okay, so we're going to split this video up into, and when you see me look over you, it's because I'm looking at my laptop with my notes on it. We're going to talk about what it is that makes medicine so expensive, the problems with funding, you know, with NHS bursary and student finance. Then we're going to talk about some hidden costs that you need to be mindful of when you go to uni, and then a little bit of advice. Don't take any advice from me. I'm not the best with the finances. I have ADHD, that's my reason. And on top of that, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take my advice like that, but just, you know, be mindful of these things. I'll just give you some disclaimers in advance. One, I don't have a mic, like a nice mic that makes the sound nice, and I'm filming this on my iPhone and not my camera, so sorry about the sound quality. As long as you can hear the words I'm saying, that's fine. Two, I live in a household with annoying people. So one is in the kitchen making a matcha latte. Make me one though, but it's loud. And then there's another one upstairs playing Roblox. So if you hear noises, yeah, it's okay. I don't live alone. Lastly, make sure you have some refreshments and let's get into the video. See, this is hot.
What's your problem?
I was even overzealous because I already made myself a peach iced tea. No, it's not ice. Peach tea. And now I've got a matcha latte. So that's great.
It's warm though.
I don't know if I like matcha. I think I do. This is nice. But I think it's interesting. I think it's a taste you have to get used to. So I'll start off with why I've even come to make this video and why this whole thing is a thing. English, sorry, it's not the best. So basically, I saw a tweet because I've already been struggling with money and uni and NHS bursary and stuff like that anyway. And me and my friends, like, we sit there and we rant about it because we're poor. We are broke. And to be honest, I don't know how we got through this academic year, to be honest with you. But then I saw this tweet of, she's another med student and I'm pretty sure she's graduated now, so she's an F1. Congratulations to her. She's not going to see this video, but it doesn't matter. I saw her tweet and I'm going to put a screenshot here and I'll read it out now. Let me just get it up. I'm a final year medical student and I don't have enough money to pay my rent. NHS bursary thinks I can live on a total of £5,500 for the year when I'm from a low household income. How will I make it to August to start working as a doctor when I don't have enough money to live? When I saw that, the rage just started building because exactly, I'm going to pretend that, you know, it's accessible and anybody can come into medicine. But a lot of people that are, you know, in your cohort are rich. They come from middle class homes and their parents can pay for them. But for us, that's not the case. So some of us are in the same boat. So when I saw that, I said, you know what? Let me open the TikTok app because obviously opening TikTok and complaining is the solution to this. For those who haven't seen the TikTok, I'll just talk to you about what I said in the TikTok and maybe expand a little bit more if I need to. So yeah, it's not spoken about how much less money you get once you enter your 5th year of study. So student finance, okay, let's start from the top. Medicine typically is a 5 or 6 year course. Once you get into your 5th year of study, you get a reduced student finance and NHS bursary. You get NHS bursary. My journey to med school, I might make another video on that. I did a foundation year. So foundation year is my 1st year of study. first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Fourth year is my 5th year of study. So my student finance reduced in 4th year, and it was supplemented by, well, it was supplemented by NHS bursary. My intercalation, which I'm doing this year, is my 6th year of study, which will be supplemented by NHS bursary. And my 7th year of study, which will be inshallah my final year, will be supplemented by NHS bursary. So I'm going to be on NHS bursary for 3 years, and I've done 1 year already. Yeah, it's not spoken about. It's like a hidden topic. When you're applying for medicine, and when you're in like the first couple of years, you know that it's so distant. 4th year, 5th year is so distant. I can't even remember as a first year. It's just far away. So you know that, the funding changes slightly, but you don't know the specifics of it. And you would think that if it was a problem, surely we would know about it. They would tell us, right? Wrong. Very wrong. And I'll say it now. The reason for that is because when you go to uni, especially, I don't want to be mean about Leeds. I do love Leeds. Like, I like the uni and I like the city and everything. But the type of student that goes to Leeds, like, the gap year, I say it's not even years, they say gap year, and you just know the type, like that stereotype. Obviously not everybody's like that, but that is very much true. Like, students will come to uni and you'd think like, oh yeah, we're all, working class, like we all grew up in, greater London and stuff like that. Come to find out, these men live in the home counties. Their parents are rich, like their parents are doctors, they're middle class, but the way that it is, you'd think that everybody's kind of in the same boat as you. So when, nobody really talks about it, you think, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's not that big a deal. It's a very big deal, actually. Like I was saying, first, second, third year, I wasn't really thinking about funding. I didn't know NHS bursary was reduced. I get to the summer of third year and I'm going to apply for student finance. In the first 3 years, I was on the max, for 4 years, sorry. Foundation year, first year, second year, third year. I was on the max loan. And obviously the amount changes, but in third year, the max was about 9k, right? So I applied for student finance and that thing has dropped down to 2k.
2k, not even 4.
No, it was reduced to 2k. And even when I applied for it then, and I saw the amount, it's fine. Doesn't matter. NHS bursary is going to make up for the rest of it, because that's what you're told. Let's do some maths, guys, because we all have done maths here, right? We all know how to add, subtract, basic things like that. Sorry to you, but I'm sure you can use a calculator maybe. Get your calculators out if you must. If the max is 9k, that's what I was getting, and they reduce that thing to 2k, let's subtract 9. No, it's 2 from 9. That's how they say it. Let's subtract 2 from 9. And what number do we get? We get 7. This is not exact. It's about 6.5 to 7k, like, because I was rounding the numbers. 6.5 to 7k. So that's what you're expecting from NHS bursary, right? Am I right or am I wrong? I think I'm right. Why was max NHS bursary just over 4k? I'm not sure. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but is 4k the same as 6.5 to 7k? I'm not convinced that it is. So that's a problem. So now I'm in a case where I'm in August. It's literally like around this time last year, August of third year. I've seen the max and I'm doing my research. I'm applying. I've seen the max. I'm thinking somebody's in trouble. Somebody's in trouble, because what am I going to do? I actually started panicking, because that means I've got about 2.5 to 3k to make up by myself. It would be one thing if I was a millionaire or a superstar or something that I can just go out and make 2.5 to 3k. Mind you, it's August. I've got the summer is basically gone. It's not like I can get up and get a job and start working then. And even at the time, I think I did have a job, but that's still not enough. So I'm going into the hardest, apparently, the hardest year of med school. 4th year is meant to be even harder than 5th year. I don't have any money. I don't have a means of making money. And the only way that I can make up for this shortfall is to get a job. So what am I supposed to do? Okay, cool. So this is what I was outlining in this TikTok, and a lot of people were shocked. Like, people were really, no one knows this. It's not publicized. Like, nobody talks about the difference in funding and this kind of thing, and how people can struggle, especially if you're from riding participation or you're just from a low income background. It's not spoken about. And as much as people act like, oh, medicine's accessible, anyone could go to, uni's accessible, anyone can go to uni. if I didn't have like my support network, or if I was, what if you're estranged, or what if your parents, you really can't do anything and you don't have anyone to help you, what are you going to do? Oh yeah, not to mention as well, just to illustrate how peak this all was, because it would be one thing if my expenses were 1k. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's reduced, does it? But last year my rent was 5.5k, so that's including all my bills, which is pretty good. My house was very nice, perfect location. It was not more, it's like a normal price for a house in Leeds. I was paying £460 a month. So over the year, my contract, I was paying about 5.5k. The total funding I got was 6.5k. So let's, again, this is a lot of a maths heavy video, isn't it? 1k to live on for the whole year. Guys, please somebody help me understand how that's possible. It is impossible. So once I did that video, it kind of blew up. How much less money you get once you earn someone's talking. Guys, unfortunately the angle has changed. I don't even feel like I'm looking at on the right level now. Storage. You see how storage is an issue? If I had the money, I'd just go to iPhone, go to Apple Store in Bromley. No, I can say that. Go to Apple Store in Bromley and buy a new phone with 256 gigabytes. Yes, I would. Anyway, like I was saying,
like and subscribe and comment well and follow.
Get my watch time up so that they can monetize me and start giving me the money. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, the analytics. So a lot of people watched that video, and I'm just looking at it now. I can't see the views because for some reason it's not loading, but it says reached audience 242.5 thousand. 242.5 thousand people saw that. So because of that, a journalist from the Mirror contacted me. I think off the top of my head, her name is Zara. I think it was. She contacted me, just wanted to have a conversation and talk about, the livable NHS bursary and not really cost of living, but cost of living a little bit. And it ended up being published. I'll put a link in the description and like a screenshot of the article. I mean, this is a kind of a separate point, but it's mad to think that I'm just at the time I was in my room I'll just open my phone and just make stupid videos, and it means that people are seeing it and getting the word out. People are signing the petition as a result of Doctors Association UK, DAUK, I think it's Doctors Association, and the Liverpool NHS bursary campaign. Some med schools actually started to listen, and I know Leeds paid us a one-off payment. I can't remember how much it was now. Yeah, I think it was £500. Paid us a one-off payment, which really did help, even though it went like that, because everybody's in debt, everybody has no money, everybody, as soon as that money comes, it goes because you don't have enough in the first place. But it was a help, and more medical schools need to do that. The government needs to do, if the government aren't going to do something, the med schools need to do something, because we need to eat, and the placement you want us to be at, we need to have the money to get the bus and the train and the walk and the this and the that to get there, or to put petrol in our cars. I don't have a car, unfortunately, to get there. I think that concludes this segment of the video. So now you understand like the general context. So now I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some hidden costs and things you need to watch out for. So this is for, I guess, the new uni students. Let's start off with deposits for housing. So yes, you are aware of, you have to pay rent, obviously, like you factored that in. And I guess on one hand, you'd think that because once you place a deposit, it's either deductible from your rent or you'll get the deposit back. Even though landlords, you will not get the deposit back, but you'll get the deposit back at the end of your tenancy. It's still money that you have to have up front. So for example, now this year I'm intercalating and I'm staying in halls, because there's this scheme that Kings have for poor people. I don't have to pay a deposit, but if I did have to pay a deposit, I would have to cough up, it's probably around £200 to £500 in, when I booked my accommodation. And that the accommodation I booked it in, I think it was like June. I remember being on placement, me and Honor FaceTimed each other we both went to the little doctor's office or somewhere in the ward where we could talk, and we tried to get the same room because obviously we want to be in the same flat. What was the point? Yeah, we are. Yay. But I can't remember the point I was making. The point I was making was, if I was to pay for my deposit, I would have had to have the money to pay for that there and then. Mind you, NHS bursary comes monthly. The payment that you get is £360. My rent is £460. So there's already £100 shortfall to make up. And I didn't really have like a proper job. I did tutoring, but that's not a very reliable form of employment. Anyway, all this to say, it wouldn't have been possible for me to pay that money. So that's one hidden cost. So there's certain things where you need to have the money up front, or you need to have the money at a particular time, and because of the way that the bursary and the student finance is set up, it's not making sense. You won't be able to pay for it. That's another thing. Student finance comes in 3 installments, and the amount of each installment is split up, and then NHS bursary I don't know, apparently this year NHS bursary is in 3 installments as well, but anyway, from last year's knowledge, I know that it was monthly. There's a big difference in if all of the money came at once and then you pay for everything and then you deal with the aftermath after that, as opposed to the money comes in dribs and drabs and you have to find a way to claw £100 or so together to pay rent every month. Okay, let's move on. I've spoken too much about that. Second thing is clubs and memberships for things. So especially if you're into your sports, it's going to be expensive, unfortunately. And again, it's one of those costs where you have to have the money up front. So at the beginning of the term, it depends, to be honest, on what team you're playing for, if you're in Bucks, that kind of thing. But for example, netball, I'll speak from Bradford because that's when I was actually playing it in Bucks. You've got to pay for that cost of the membership for the netball team. Bucks, I think it's part of the registration and renting the sports hall, so for training, games and stuff like that. And that, from the top of my head, was £160. At that time, obviously it's a lot of money and it did hurt, but at the time I was receiving the full student finance and it wasn't that bad. But if I had to pay that now, I would not be able to play netball because that is too much money to pay in a one-off payment. Yeah, it's too much money to pay in a one-off payment. So just know that with sports clubs, you're going to have that kind of thing. And then with other societies as well, obviously the membership is not going to be that as expensive as that, but you do have to pay membership and stuff like that. Speaking about societies, events, Freshers Week, at the end of the day, and a lot of people like to do this, if somebody's poor, they don't have the money, I'm not saying that means they should go on holiday, but people like to police poor people's lives, and it's like, oh, because you don't have money, you shouldn't, why are you buying ice cream? What if I want to treat myself? And for especially something like sports or clubs and societies, this is something that you actually need. You can't be in your room all year just studying.
Bro, people are depressed.
Even with the clubs and society, you can do netball, you can do football, you can do basketball, you can be ACS, you can be everything. And the uni. Anyway, like what Benzo said, what did he even say that first video that he made that got him famous? Yeah. Uni. Don't die for uni. Anyway, yeah, so those are some costs as well. Laundry, circuit laundry. Circuit laundry, bring them. Because the thing is, I thought I escaped the clutches of circuit laundry from when I left Leodis in the first year. I was with circuit laundry when I was in Bradford on the green, and then circuit laundry for when I was in Leodis in Leeds first year. After I left student accommodation, because I'm back. Anyway, me and Honor, we're gonna hand wash our stuff together. Yeah. We'll have a laundry day and we'll hand wash our stuff. We're not going back to circuit laundry. It's impossible. Circuit laundry is so expensive to wash and to dry. You have to pay for it separately. Sometimes you'll pay for that thing, the machine will take your money and your clothes will come out of the dryer wet.
I remember for one load, to wash and dry one load, bear in mind the machines are tiny as well, and it never dried properly. I would pay at least probably about £5
per batch. And can you imagine, you know, boys will just put all their laundry together, white, black, delicates, they don't care. But if I've got whites and then I've got darks and then I've got colours and then maybe I need to wash my laundry, my bed sheets and towels.
Oh God.
Yeah, so circuit laundry, I can't lie, guys, if you can find a way to just pack your laundry and go home and wash it at home. See, this is the problem, cost of living. You go and do that and now your parents are suffering because the electricity is too much. Do you see how... UK has a problem. America has a problem. UK has a problem. Beyonce song, UK has a problem because...
Is this your ADHD? Where is the topic? Get back.
To me, it makes sense. Yeah, to me, this is all connected. Anyway, yeah, that's another type. A bit more specific to medicine. Travel is for everyone, but Placement and travel. Whether you have a car, you don't have a car, you're finished. Because if you have a car, the petrol costs, cost of living, fuel. Guys, sorry, the angle is changing. Storage. Anyway, I'm going to persevere and get this video finished because I'm really trying hard for you guys. And to be fair, most trusts, you pay for the petrol and then at the end of the rotation, you can reimburse it. I've got a couple of issues with this. One, this is another one of those things. You can come downstairs, it's fine. I've already given you a disclaimer that everybody's loud in this house. Yeah, just come, it's fine. Somebody is welcome from the nap. One of the issues is, again, upfront cost. You have to have the money to be able to fill your tank. For example, Florian's car to fill his tank is about £90. Where are you going to get £90 to spend on diesel? Right. Second, ADHD tax, which we'll talk about later, which is one of the hidden costs, kind of. I, as a person with ADHD, you expect me to have the executive function, the forward planning, the remembrance, no, the word is memory, the memory to remember to keep all my receipts and to keep to the deadline, because they'll usually have a deadline. Oh, submit your travel costs by this date to get your money back. Do you know how much money? Because I don't have a car, I don't drive, but obviously if I'm getting the train, all my train tickets, you want me to remember to keep all those things, to know where I've kept them, to compile them all and submit them by a deadline. That is impossible for me personally. I've done it a couple of times, but I'm not successful 100% of the time. This is a problem. The money is not upfront. It's not like they send you the money to fill your tank. If your placement is in, let me think of somewhere, Huddersfield, that is a lot. I don't know how many miles it is, but it's a lot of miles there and back for 5 days. In 1 week, you're going to empty your tank. Or maybe a week and a half. Placement is 5 weeks. So how much are you spending on petrol? And now you're in minus that amount of money until the end of the rotation. And then sometimes it'll take 6 weeks to give it back to you. Do you see how this is all a problem? Okay, so that's if you have a car. If you don't have a car, it's exactly the same thing. You're spending money on, for example, me, let me think. When I was going to Bradford, how would I get to placement? I'd get a bus to the train station, which was... How much was a bus ticket? £2. I would get a train to Bradford from Leeds, which was about £4 something. Then I would get a bus from station to the hospital. Yes, I could walk, but again, ADHD tax. To be able to do that, I'd have to plan even more time. I have problems with my sleep. Getting up in the morning is difficult. Getting ready in the morning is difficult. I have problems with my time management, so I can't do that. So I need to get the bus to get there on time. I've spent £2, £4, £6, £8 on the bus, and then £4 on the train. So that's £12. In 1 day. And if you do that 5 days a week, and then you do that for 5 weeks, they're not giving you the exact money. They never give you the exact amount. Actually, sometimes they do, tell a lie, but it's usually they give you a lump sum. There's a maximum, and if you go over that maximum, then that's your business. Do you see how this is a hidden cost? A very big hidden cost. And then there's stuff like things actually related to med school. I would say textbooks, but we don't really use textbooks like that. It depends on your med school, to be fair, because with Leeds we are examined on lecture material basically, and then the core conditions. Somebody's making egg in the background, so just pretend that it's cooking mama in the background or something. Stuff that you need. So by the time you get to third year is clinical, but depends on your course because courses differ with this. With Leeds, from second year you kind of needed a stethoscope. You could get away with not having one. Third year you need a stethoscope. A stethoscope is £100. If you don't have, for me, these lot got it for me as a gift for my birthday. Was it for my birthday? It was part of my birthday gifts. If I didn't have them to buy it, who is going to buy that thing? Things like scrubs. To be fair, Leeds gave us 2 pairs of scrubs. But if you need to buy scrubs, you've got to pay for that. PassMed and QuesMed. I'm going to make a video about how to study. Those are a must. Get rid of Anki. You really need a question bank. So I had PassMed from third year. In third year, I paid for it, but fourth year, you got it for free through the uni. QuesMed, you didn't know, and I had to pay for that. You don't have to have both of them, but for most people, it will be an additional cost. And this is just a couple of stuff. Like, there's going to be more. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about a disability, if you have a disability. To be fair, I'll put a disclaimer. I have not applied for... what is it called? Disability allowance. I've not applied for that. The reason why I've not applied for it is because of my disability. I've referred to ADHD tax a couple of times in this video, but if you are familiar with ADHD or you have ADHD, you probably know about it. But it's a term that basically describes the cost of having ADHD. So for example, I'll give you a good example. Since that year, I've not done a food shop. And the reason for that is if I do a food shop, I go and spend about, let's say £30. That will last me a week. I'll put all these groceries in the fridge, a lot of things that I can use to actually cook meals with. I go to the fridge. If I physically, because with ADHD you can have problems with object permanence, if I can't physically see that thing in the fridge, I'm going to forget it's there. And if I forget it's there, that thing is going to go off. If it's veg, I have 3 days to cook with it. Fruit, it might be in the fruit bowl, but if I can't see it there and I don't have a reminder, that is going to go off. Rather than spending £30 on a food shop and doing that every week and the money going to waste, you might as well spend more on getting a takeaway, not necessarily like bad takeaway, but like you might want to spend more on like a healthy yeah, like buying a curry, like something that you can have with rice, you can have with bread, you can have with paratha, or doing HelloFresh, for example. If the alternative is more expensive but in the long run it's gonna be cost effective, then that's what you should do. I know that there is some sort of thing that the NHS bursary do where you can get extra money off for travel actually. And I've known this and it's been in the back of my mind, but the whole year has come and gone. And have I submitted the application? No. But do you see how that's something that because of the disability I have, I've essentially lost out on money? Okay, so advice. I don't have much advice because I am struggling. If I had good advice, I wouldn't be in the same boat that I'm in. But what I can tell you is you should probably budget. Don't do as I do as I say, because I can't budget because it just doesn't work for me. But if you can, and if budgeting works for you, do it, because you can monitor your finances and see where you're spending the most money and see where you can cut down. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, no amount of budgeting is going to get you out of this situation if you are in the same situation. I'm just going to be real. Like, people like to pretend like, oh, you know this whole, oh, don't spend money on Netflix, don't buy. If you're in this situation, realistically, you're not being frivolous with your money. The money is just not enough. So yeah, like, budget, but how much is it really going to help? I can't lie. Second thing would be try and get a job. See, if you're a medic, try and get like a HCA job. I'm giving you the advice, but even me myself, I can't do a HCA job because I don't like placement. I can't subject myself to essentially more placement. Guys, I'm not the best at giving advice. I'm really not. Just find a job that isn't too strenuous, you don't hate and doesn't make you want to end your life, and that you can manage alongside your studies. So I did tutoring. It helped a little bit, but obviously it's not enough. Like, I wasn't doing enough to be able to actually supplement my income properly. I think the last one and the most important one, or the one that's going to help the most, is applying for grants, scholarships, hardship fund. That's the only way. It's the only way out. I'm not going to lie to you, because if you physically don't have the money, there's no way you're going to get that money from. The best thing to do is talk to the finance, like student support. They will point you in the right direction of who you need to speak to. There's a lot of money most students don't know about, and if you speak to the right people, they will put you in the right place so that you can apply for these things and utilize that money, because that money is there to be spent. So whenever you find these funds and you think, oh, I have to write an essay, I'm probably not going to get it anyway, apply for that thing, because everyone else is thinking the same thing and there's probably like 5 applicants. You're probably going to get it. Guys, pray for me though, because this year is even worse for me. I'm going to be in London this year. It's looking very peak. Yesterday I was looking at the King's website with all the money in that. I was looking at my rent breakdown, teas, not the best. But I've already seen that there are some hardship funds and like scholarships that I can apply for. When they open the phone lines on Monday, I'm going to call them and ask them. But yeah, thank you for watching my video. Leave below any comments that you have. Leave below any video ideas you want to see. Do you want to see my journey to med school? Do you want to see my study technique video? Follow me on TikTok, because I post most of my med related content there. And I'll probably this year I am going to post, from this year onwards, medicine related content. I've been pushing against the tide, but people really like that content on TikTok anyway, so I think I'm just gonna lean into it. But yeah guys, that's the end of my video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna finally stop talking now and go and eat and cater to my basic needs. But if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.